I would actually say it's a rat race.
Yeah.
Right? Since we are very famous for 3 idiots, it's the same campus. Poman Irani rightly said it's a rat race because not to say, of course, it's competitive, everybody. So we were told this on the first day of our orientation. Every one of us is the topper. Every one of us is so used to getting that first rank. But here, since it's relative grading, only one can get that.
Yeah.
And somebody has to come last for someone to top.
Yeah.
So they're like, it'll take time to get used to, and we didn't pay much attention to that. But it really does hurt because now, no matter how much you study, somebody is going to get that lower rankings. So yes, it's a rat race. You don't realize it, especially in those 3 months you are cribbing so much because it's just so hectic. You have classes all week long, you have assignments, deadlines, submissions. At the top of it, you're starting to prepare your CV, because the second term you have those placements, so you're getting those points, you are getting used to the environment. There are so many different things going on, case competitions, different kind of tests. You're networking, you're meeting new people, and there's just every day there's some kind of new opportunity, new thing coming up, and you have to be very alert. But in hindsight, you actually realize that they're training you because that's how your life is going to be.
Yeah. Hello everyone, and welcome to the brand new episode of GIBS. And today we have Dolly Nakra with us. She is from IIM Bangalore, and we are going to discuss about her journey, how she prepared for CAT, and what are the challenges that she faced, and what are the strategies that she applied and got this result. And first we are going to talk about her background, educational background and little bit of family background, so that we can relate to Dolly that this is her, the decades and from where she belongs and what are the experience that she had till now. So I welcome Dolly with this in this episode of GIBS. And
thanks, man.
Please introduce yourself and tell us about your educational background and family background as well.
Hello everyone, I am Dolly Nakra. I am currently a PhD 1 student in IIM Bangalore. I did my 10th from LK Singhani Education Center, which is an IPSC boarding school. I did my 12th from Modern Public School, Bhiwadi, Rajasthan. After that, I joined Thapa University, Patiala in computer engineering. I graduated in 2019. After that, I worked in the automobile industry. My family also works in the same industry, so kind of helped in that. I worked for almost 4 years before I decided to give CAT, and I started preparing in 2023. So 2023, I took admission. 2022, I started preparing. I prepared for around 6-7 months, and then we got started with the interviews, and I joined IIM Bangalore in June 2023.
Okay. I mean, you have a work experience of 4 years, and
yes,
this is a big amount of experience for somebody to decide going for CAT after leaving the corporate sector. So, what motivated you actually to leave the 4 years vast experience and now coming for the CAT?
Okay. So for me, it was always I wanted to work first after engineering because you don't get to use the practice. You've learned theory, you don't know the practical aspects of business yet. So I started working in 2019, and as you know, 2020 and 2021 were very difficult years. It was very different for the economy.
Yeah.
So it was kind of an interesting time to work, especially in the automobile industry. Not many females work in that. So it was kind of interesting. What motivated me to give CAT was in 2022 when I was working, I thought I learned what all I could from my current skill set. And if I wanted to expand further, if I wanted to expand my network, expand my skill set, my acumen, I thought I needed those managerial insights, which I thought MBA could offer. And IIMs, as we all know, are very famous for doing that. Their diversity, their academic curriculum, the way that is all built, you get to learn a lot of different things. So I think that was the main motivation to kind of excel at what I'm doing and learn new things so that I can, make a very informed decision of where I want to go ahead.
Yes.
So that was the motivation, yes.
Yeah, actually, I mean, after working for 4 years, you are going to realize that, okay, now I needed something else from the academic side. Because after 4 years of engineering background, you have this curiosity to apply those technical knowledge. And after applying it, you realize that, okay, now I need more to learn more and then apply more. Yeah, that's good. And tell us about your preparation. When did you started your preparation actually? Because you started your preparation while you were doing your job. So
yes.
Tell us about when did you start your preparation, and also what was the challenge that you faced at that point of time?
My CAT was scheduled in November 2022. I started preparing around April, May 2022. It was a very late decision to kind of start preparing for it because I was actually confused between GMAT and CAT, and then I finally decided on CAT. I prepared, so because I was working, I didn't leave my job. I had a continuous, regular, everyday job. So I decided to take coaching from this coaching center called Alchemist. It's located in Delhi. I'm from NCR, so that helped. My reason for choosing that, it provided personalized coaching, so I could schedule my classes according to my timetable.
Okay.
It was not a fixed time, so I used to schedule my classes at the end of the day when I used to come back from my office, so that I don't miss my classes, and it had the recording feature, so I was able to do everything at my own convenience. Obviously, challenges are at the end of a tiring day at office, you don't really want to study. It's very hard to concentrate, and at times the workload is so much. It just gets overwhelming from time to time. To maintain that consistency, to maintain the kind of motivation and concentration level, it gets very difficult. I'm not going to lie, especially near the exam, when it's nearing, when you are doing those mock exams, and if let's say you're not performing well, and then you have the office meeting next day, it just hampers your efficiency some way or the other. So that's one of the biggest challenges, to get that motivation level. But other than that, I think because it really helped me, especially Alchemist, because I could do everything at my own convenience. So it was either, if I'm scheduling a mock early in the morning before my office, then working the entire day, I'm getting a lunch break, I can review my answers, and then when I come back late in the night, I can study the module again. So that way it was very convenient for me.
Okay.
It does get tough, I'm not going to lie. So if people who are preparing for job, I'm not going to lie, it gets overwhelming towards the end when it's approaching. But either way, you'll have to work around it. There's no way out.
Yeah, actually, and one of the questions that I asked to, every candidate, that three part of CAT is there. So your verbal VARC, people say VARC is there, your quant is there, logical reasoning is there. So out of these three, which one you find it difficult to brush up your knowledge about?
So I think being an engineer, DILR and quant were easy on me. Verbal was, I won't say it was difficult, it was unpredictable at times. So it was very hard to maintain consistency. So if sometimes I was scoring very close to full marks, there were times when I was not in the range of 40, I was like in the 30s, and that impacted the overall score. So unpredictability was higher in VARC. Wouldn't say it was difficult, but I think the engineering background helps in quant. And DILR, again, I was very much interested. It was actually my strongest vertical out of all three. So that was I think my strongest suit. That was better, but verbal. I think most engineers will relate to that.
Yeah, actually, this is the same answer that I get from every candidate. Everybody feels, the unpredictability of VARC. And since you have prepared your CAT examination, your preparation you have done with the job. So if there is some experience they want to, know, is it better to prepare with the job, or is it better to leave the job and then prepare?
See, I'm not going to give a blanket answer for that. I prepared with job, but I know a lot of people here who left their job and then prepared, or took kind of leave for a few months and prepared for the job. It actually depends where you are in your preparation, how comfortable you are with the sections that are coming, and how much is your workload. Depends on the kind of projects you're working, depends on the kind of schedule you have in your job. So for me, it was not that I was working constantly for 14-15 hours a day, but there were times, especially towards the closing end, like towards the end of the month, closing times, when I had to work, and then those days I couldn't study, but I could balance it off. So for me, it was a trade-off, but it was manageable. There are some jobs where the workload is so high that you are not motivated enough to work. So I'm not going to give you a blanket answer for that. Depends. Take a mock. I would just say that take a mock. See if you are able to try for a week or two. See if you are able to manage. See if you are able to concentrate, because that's very important. It doesn't depend on the duration of your preparation. It depends on the quality of your preparation. So for me, I personally feel I genuinely prepared qualitatively for, I think, 1 or 2 months, and that included mock. So if you're able to concentrate well in those 2 months, your preparation will be fine. But just make sure you're doing that, not just wasting time. So it depends on every individual. Depends if your job is not taxing enough for you to not be able to come back home and not be able to study. So it depends on all of that. And you're absolutely an individual's call, because you are actually risking your career. So take an informed decision.
Yeah, actually. And the thing is, if you are preparing with the job, you can make up a story if somebody asks any situational question. So you can make up your story based upon your past experience. Otherwise, you have to defend it. That why did you choose, to leave the job? Is it, are you not so much comfortable with dealing with 2 or 3 things at a similar time? So there can be, many questions around it. So if you can manage it, that's good. And after, if somebody have decided that now I'm going to prepare for CAT, so what are the study materials that you refer to, and can you suggest any study materials for the aspirant to go through it if somebody wants to go?
Okay. So again, as I said, I didn't explore the study material very much because for me the timetable and the time of the classes and the online thing was more of a priority. I did my coaching from Alchemist, but I think what helped me, so once you go through the modules, at the end of the day, I think every coaching center has more or less the same kind of material. There's not much of a disparity. Of course, the teaching quality can be different, but if you're studying, at the end of the day, you have to study on your own. So the teaching material is kind of the same. I did refer to IMS also, but I think the differentiating factor is mock examinations, the mock test series that they have. So for me, I did IMS and Alchemist. IMS has this sectional tests and whole mock tests also. Alchemist also used to routinely conduct tests. So for me, personally, I don't know if it's a popular opinion. For me, the study material is not that important as much as is your consistency and the frequency of your mock taking, especially towards the end, towards that last month. So as I said, I started preparing very late and I used to go to my office but you get your sketch slot 1 month before the exams. So for me, it was the first slot, the morning slot, 8:30 to 10:50. And I'm not a morning person. Like, I'm not at my best efficiency in the morning. So I had to train it. So I used to get up and give my mock every day in that slot. That helped me train my mind when I actually sat for the exam, and that actually helped me perform well in CAT. So it depends more how many mocks you take, but I referred to, if anyone wants it, I referred to Alchemist and IMS material.
Actually, I have heard so much about IMS. Every single candidate have somebody have also talked about Cat King and Alchemist, you rightly said, but IMS is in every single one of them. Everybody have recommended that have at least 2 of the mocks so that you can deal with the variety of questions. So that's good. And now you got your result. You got your 99 percentile. You are very happy, and now it's the time for your interview preparation. And that's actually the deciding factor, like whether you are going to get any blackie or you are going to get any new IIMs, or either you are going to get nothing. So it all depends upon your interview. So tell us about how you prepare for your interview, and also share about your IIM Bangalore interviews. How IIM Bangalore interview was different from other interviews.
Okay, so as you rightly said, so as you said, if you want to leave the job or not leave the job, you can have situational answers. The first is scoring a good percentile, because your shortlist are based on that. So no matter if you leave, you don't leave, if you don't get a good percentile, you're not getting those interviews. So yes, the result was very well. I scored a 99.87 percentile. I got calls from all the leading IIMs, all the other institutes as well. So for me, I think one of the best things were my interviews were lined up pretty close to each other and very much early in the process. So I think I was done with my interviews by first week of March. All my interviews were done. So that was a very good thing. I was giving interviews almost every other alternate day or 2 days in gaps of 2 days in February. So that helped me. As we go, as the ranks increase, so I think my first interview in terms of IIMs was CAP and then IIM Shillong. Shillong was very technical interview, which serves well with their curriculum. Next was my Calcutta. Calcutta was very long, and that was actually the popular opinion. It was common among all the batches and all the people who have actually applied that it was long. So mine, personally, my IIM Calcutta interview went for around 45 to 50 minutes. They covered everything. I think for IMC, I'll tell you what, this was common in all 3 ABC, even black eye, all black eye I would say, but particularly ABC interviews. It's not just about your academics. It's hardly actually about your academics, because you've already proven it. And the fact that you're getting the shortlist, your previous acads are also kind of taken care of. They know they've gone through your whole profile. So it's about your overall personality. It's about your general knowledge. How much do you know of what's happening around you? If it's either economics, politics, social aspects, you should have a comprehensive understanding of everything that's happening around you. You should have a very good understanding of what you've done till now, why you've done till now, what do you aspire to do in the future. Very clear in terms of your focus. So that's very important. That was common across all. I was in my Ahmedabad interview, I was asked all kinds of GK questions about political, what's happening. I am an engineer, I am a computer engineer. I was asked about economics, repo rate, RBI related things, social, what the recent laws that have been passed, their impact on society. Other than that, even in Calcutta, there were things. Bangalore specifically, I think was very focused in terms of the interview. They were very clear of what they were looking for. I think that was the differentiating factor. It was my Bangalore interview was 20 minutes, sharp 20 minutes. My panel was very clear in terms of what they wanted to ask. I was asked about my work experience, what I've worked, why I joined, what is my work, and the different competitive situations, how I handle those, what are the challenges, and based on my work experience, they gave me a few situations that how do I usually handle it. They kind of wanted to know if I know well about my industry, I know well about my market, because I was, as it is, in a managerial role before. So they kind of wanted to judge how well I suited, how well I was suited for my job. After that, again, I was asked about sports. I was asked about other common news that was happening, general knowledge, current affairs related things. Not much about my previous academics, so nothing on my engineering set. The basic things. So I think that was the common theme across all these leading IIMs interviews, that work experience is of course important, because that's what you're currently doing. Why do you want to join MBA? You should be very clear on what your motivation is. What are you looking to gain from your MBA experience? It's not just like, I want to pivot. That can not be your answer, because that's, I know it's the reality. Everybody wants to shift after a while, but you should be very clear in terms of what you are looking to gain, because you are leaving your very stable life and coming here as a student in this age and then starting from scratch. So very clear what you want to lose, what's your affordable loss, what you want to gain from this, and what are you looking, where do you picture yourself, let's say in the short run and in the long run. So let's say 2 years from now after MBA, and then 5-10 years from now after, in the longer run, what do you want, where do you want to see yourself. Then this, again, your general knowledge is very important, your overall personality, so your resume. They want to look if you're an all-rounder or you've just been studying your entire life. So again, that's very important. If you've done extracurriculars, co-curriculars, that actually helps. They like to talk about your hobbies. So if you are an aspirant, I would actually suggest, if you do have time, start building up your resume. If you're in college yet, especially graduation, start looking for those extracurriculars, because that really helps. That even if that doesn't help you in getting the shortlist, that definitely will help you in starting those conversations in an interview. So for example, if you sing, if you play a kind of an instrument, if you dance, if you're into sports, they are interested in talking about that, especially if it's very different hobby. So that eats up, gets into your interview time, and that's a good topic for a conversation. So these things, and it was common across.
Yes. Actually, the good point that I have noticed that extracurricular, everybody talks about extracurricular. It's like an ice-breaking session for them. So if they find something common with you, they're gonna start asking about these questions, and in that way you also feel pretty much relaxed in that process, and then your interview started from there. I believe I can think of 1 or 2 extracurricular that I was asked, mainly related to my graduation. There was one society in NIT Jalandhar called Prayas. So we used to teach underprivileged children over there. So that topic started, and that's how the entire interview started building up. Then that led to be comes out great result. Actually, I did take my first interview, and I got selected. And the first the list that they gave us, since I was from GATE, so I had a choice to join PSUs and all. So when I saw that I am here in the IIM Mumbai in the first list, so I thought that why not join it, and I have the understanding of IIM as well. So now you are in IIM Bangalore. Congratulations to you. Tell us about your last 8 months experience of IIM Bangalore, and divide it into 2 parts, because the first 3 is going to be different than the next 5.
So the first 3, I would actually say it's a rat race. Right? Since we are very famous for 3 Idiots, it's the same campus. Boman Irani rightly said it's a rat race, because not to say, of course, it's competitive, everybody. So we were told this on the first day of our orientation. Every one of us is a topper. Every one of us is so used to getting that first rank. But here, since it's relative grading, only one can get that. And somebody has to come last for someone to top. So they're like, it'll take time to get used to, and we didn't pay much attention to that, but it really does hurt, because now no matter how much you study, somebody is going to get that lower rankings. So yes, it's a rat race. You don't realize it, especially in those 3 months. You are cribbing so much because it's just so hectic. You have classes all week long. You have assignments, deadlines, submissions. At the top of it, you're starting to prepare your CV. Because the second term you have those placements, so you're getting those points. You are getting used to the environment. There are so many different things going on. Case competitions, different kind of fests. You're networking, you're meeting new people, and there's just every day there's some kind of new opportunity, new thing coming up, and you have to be very alert. But in hindsight, you actually realize that they're training you, because that's how your life is going to be moving forward. You will not get enough hours of sleep. You will have to optimize your time. You can't be wasting time here and there, because you will be missing out. It's the opportunity cost is so high. You don't realize that there, because you're like, what is happening? You are just getting adjusted to the new life. But then I don't know if second term, third term are actually relaxing, or you just get so used to it that it does not seem that taxing anymore. But it just feels so much better. So first 3 months are divided. So we had our orientation. We started with our classes. I think within the first month we had a few submissions. So it's different. I think you can also relate. So it's not a normal graduation study. They don't teach you from books.
No.
You have to read the material and go to the class. Like what you were taught in graduation, you have to study that yourself. Because in class you'll only be discussing the analysis or the interpretation, insights of that. And there's marks for class participation. You're graded. You can't just go and sleep in the class. It's not just about attendance here. Everything is at stake. Your grade is at stake, which is, that those 5-10% is a very big thing.
Big thing here,
It's a differentiating factor, So, those pre-reads, those submissions, deadlines, assignments, presentations, and there were times in term 1 when you had 3-4 presentations in one day, and it's not just, you cannot just present anything. You have to present your analysis. You do a lot for research into that. And at the same time, we started preparing our CVs. I think in August, we started preparing those. So to get those, finalize those points, because your entire summer placement is based on what you've done before MBA. So you have to write everything down properly, because your shortlists are going to come based on that. So August, September, again, very, very hectic. Your CV, our CV gets freezed by September. So before our end terms, before we are done with term 1, before our end terms, our CV gets freezed. So you're working on that, and that's a very, very hectic time, because everybody is so tense, and understandably so. Because your placement is based on that. So that was very hectic. Term 2, our term 2 started in September mid. Our summer placements were in the first week of November, not the first week, from 6th to 10th of November. Till that also, because your term has started. So again, the same things are going on. But at the end now, in addition, you are going through those shortlists, those buddy calls, those interviews that's happening, case prep, everything is going on. So I don't know if it actually gets relaxing. You actually you get used to coordinating things well. You get used to managing time very, very well. You have your priorities set straight. By the time you enter term 2, you know what will take how much time, what needs your time right now, what needs your attention more. So you kind of balance those things well. You kind of schedule your things well. And I think once you're done with the summer placements, of course, it gets very relaxing, not to say academically, but that pressure goes off. So you're able to study, you're able to enjoy well. You again know what opportunities to take, what case comes to do, different networking things that you want to explore. There are numerous opportunities. Of course, IIMs are famous for that. They're known for that. And by term 2, our club selection process starts. That's a very good thing. We decide, we get to choose it after we're done. So after the pressure is off of placement, then the club selection starts. Term 3, again, very chill in terms of, we have just academics, the pressure is off. Our internships are going to begin in April. So kind of wrapping up. And I think term 3 again is, the feel is different, because PGP2s are in their placement season. We are now helping. We can see the pressure there. And it's just so much better that we don't have to go through the same thing again, as of now at least. But and after their placement is done, of course, the environment shifts. There's just a shift in everybody. Everybody's relaxed. We're preparing for their farewells. There's different kinds of get-togethers that's happening, because they're leaving campus in 15 days. So fun. I won't just mention it as hectic. It is hectic, but it's a lot of fun. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
It teaches you a lot of things. You will never get to experience this outside of IIM Bangalore. You are awake 24/7. You don't get to sleep. There are a lot of sleepless nights. There have been times when we've ended up in 8 a.m. lectures without literally sleeping for even a minute. So those things happen. But yeah, you won't get to enjoy this. You won't get to experience this outside like after this. So
Yeah.
all in all, good, very good.
Actually, when we first came in, we were like the majority of learning and the development, personal development that happened is in watching that 3-4 months actually. You get to manage your time management. You learn like very good in time management, when to do, what to do, and how to do it. And you know how to structure your thoughts. You know how to answer them and how to say no. That I don't have time to do all those things. So and you also know how to deal with other people, because as you rightly said that here everybody is topper. You are not topper alone. You were topper in your class, so now this is another class and everybody here is a topper. So that's a very much difficult part actually. And after that, when the entire thing is over, you get to relax and only academics part is there. But after internship, I should tell you that after internship, if you get PPO, it's again chill and relax. If you not, it's again a little bit of hectic thing. But it is after 2 months of that internship.
Yeah.
And now you have prepared with the job. You have done great in this CAT examination. So if you have some tricks, to share or some suggestions to share with the aspirant who are preparing for CAT or who are preparing for the interview, you can share those tricks with them.
Oh, okay. I think I've mentioned a few before. In terms of CAT examination, what worked for me, again, I went through the modules just once because I didn't have a lot of time. But there were days when I didn't feel like studying, so I didn't study. I never forced myself to study because I knew even if I studied on those days, I'll just be wasting time.
Yeah.
And I had to balance both job, and I'm guessing other people were. You have to balance. You can't just hamper your job performance. So just make sure that whenever you are study with your with high level of concentration, with high level of motivation. Make sure there are very few distractions. You are focusing well. That will help you cover at least the syllabus.
Yeah.
Fast as compared to when you are procrastinating or getting distracted. What helped personally, I feel that what really helped me were those mock examinations. So as I said, when my slot came, I was very much shocked because again, I'm not a morning person. Morning examinations are not my best. It doesn't suit me well. So for that 1 month, not to say all 30 days, but most, I'll say 24 days out of 30, I gave mock examination exactly in that slot. So from 8:30 to 10:30 for those 24-25 days, I gave mock examination every day. Those days when I missed the morning examination, I did give a mock in the evening when I came back or in the night when I came back. But I was trying my best to give in that slot because then your brain gets trained. Every day, if in that particular slot you're giving an exam, you're focusing. When you sit on the day of the examination in that center, it'll feel like you are giving a mock because you're so used to.
Yeah.
Your brain is also so used to sitting and focusing for those 2 hours in that particular time slot. So that really helped. What I used to do is, suppose if I'm giving a mock and I didn't perform well in a particular section, so at night I used to come and give a 45 minutes mock of that particular section. So IIMS has these sectional mocks. You can give so that I'll know. And I think one more thing that's very important that most of the aspirants, leave out. I've talked to a few because those who have given this year's exam. When you're giving mock, please sit and analyze your mock after. I won't sit just after because I also didn't have time. I used to analyze, sit and review my mock after I came back from my office because it will help you realize what you're doing wrong. So CAT is not about attempting all questions. It's about attempting as many correct questions as you can, minimizing those incorrect. So you will know what questions you are frequently doing wrong. You are not very comfortable in those topics. So on the day of the examination, what I did was I used to leave out those 2-3 questions. I know because it's not about getting those right. It's also about getting right in that time limit. So I can't spend more than 2-3 minutes on a question. Yeah. That's the max thing. So if I'm not getting a right answer after 2 minutes of solving it, why would I waste my time? I can attempt other questions. So just analyze and get to know where you are lacking, what topics you are weak, what's your strong suit. Attempt those first in terms of DILR. See what kind of sets you are used to because out of 4, if you're able to crack 3, that's that's like, it's your differentiator.
Yeah.
Than if you just leave at 1, 2. So just get used to manage your time well and analyze in terms of VARC also. So for me, like, summary was one thing that was again unpredictable. I won't say wrong or weak, it's just unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I used to skip some of those questions. I knew I had those kind of that bandwidth of 2, 3 questions I can skip. So just like that. In terms of interview, what I really felt was be confident, be yourself. They are very, expert profs, professors are sitting in front of you. They've been interviewing for so long, so they know, how truthful are you, how transparent are you. So just be yourself. Don't say anything that you are not confident defending.
Yeah.
I've had a few, because when you're sitting outside or when people come out of the interview, all you can see or they tell you their stories. So just go through your profile very well. Be very clear of what you did, why you did, what you're planning to do, why you're planning to do. For like, why did you do your engineering? Why did you work here? Why you planning to do your MBA now? What do you see? As I said, build your profile well. Have those extracurricular points. Be confident. Their motive is not to reject you. They want to see, like, you've got the shortlist. You have very much the same chance of getting admitted in one of those leading institutes as other candidates sitting next to you in that interview panel. So just relax, be yourself, be confident, very important. Don't go unprepared. I will say don't mug up things, but don't go unprepared. Have a structure in your mind. And they can ask you everything. It's not about, they don't want IAS candidates. So even if you are being asked a lot of general knowledge, they just want to know if you can keep your calm. If they're asking you a lot of unrelated questions to your profile, just remember that they're just trying to test how well you manage your temper, how well you manage your calmness. So be calm, be confident. Don't panic. Just be yourself, and I think you'll be good to go.
Yeah, actually, in one of interview, one person also mentioned about 3C: calm, clarity, and confidence. If you can manage these 3 things, you can easily qualify. And
Yes.
You have shared a lot of insight from your experience, and I would like to thank you again, Dolly, to join us and share your valuable experience with a lot of candidates are going to be helped by this interview. So thank you again for joining us.
You're very welcome. You are doing great with the series. Hope this helps a lot of aspirants out there too. It was great connecting with you.
Same here. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.